Welcome to Renu's classroom. This class is about major histocompatibility complex. The major histocompatibility gene complex is a tightly linked cluster of genes present in all mammalian species. The protein products of these genes play an important role on intercellular recognition, antigen presentation, and discrimination between self and non-self by inducing both humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. The protein products of these genes are usually called as MHC antigens or MHC molecules. In the 1930s, while working on blood group antigens in inbred strains of mice, London immunologist Peter Gorer identified 4 groups of genes. He numbered it as the Roman letter 1, 2 and 3, 4. Following this discovery, during 1940s and 1950s, Gorer and George Snell conducted experiments on inbred strains of mice which showed that antigens encoded by group 2 genes take part in the rejection of tumor transplant. They further showed that even normal tissue grafts like skin grafts are rejected when grafted within different inbred strains of mice, so that they crossed mice of 2 inbred strains to produce F1 progeny. They transferred skin grafts from parents to F1 mice which were accepted. However, when they transplanted skins from offspring to parents, the skin grafts were rejected. They also demonstrated that the products of group 2 genes are the ones that participated in graft rejection. These experiments showed that the group 2 genes of both parents were expressed simultaneously in the offspring. As a result, parents' grafts were not recognized as foreign by the offspring, but each parent did recognize the other parent's group 2 antigens expressed in the F1 mice as foreign and rejected the graft. Gorer and George Snell named the gene complex as major histocompatibility complex, otherwise H2, because the group 2 genes are responsible for this, so that they named it as H2 in the mice. Histo means tissue and compatibility means getting along or most agreeable or living together harmoniously. Later, George Snell, Jean Desert and Baruch Banasarov received the Nobel Prize for this discovery in 1980. From then, George Snell is referred as father of immunogenetics. This diagram clearly explains Dr. George Snell's experiment in the discovery of MHC complex. Following the discovery of George Snell, in 1996, Rolf Zingernagel and Peter Doherty received a Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for the discovery of how the immune system recognizes virus-infected cells with the help of major histocompatibility antigens. Structural studies done by the American structural biologist Don Billy and others showed that different major histocompatibility proteins bind and present different antigen fragments. For this discovery, Don Billy was honored with Japan Prize in the year 1999. In human, major histocompatibility complex is found on the short arm of the chromosome 6. It is referred to as HLA complex as it was first discovered in human leukocytes. Later, it was found in all nucleotide cells, but the name was stuck as HLA. HLA genes are very diverse in nature, that is, they are polymorphic in nature. So, no two human beings have the same set of HLA antigens. In mice, the MHC is found on chromosome 17 and it is referred to as H2 complex. In dogs, it is referred to as DLA complex. In rabbits, RLA complex. In chickens, B complex. In bovines, BOLA complex, and so forth. As already stated, MHC genes code for self-surface histocompatibility antigens are so polymorphic in nature, so that no two human beings have the same set of HLA antigens except genetically identical individuals. Inheritance of HLA antigens follows Mendelian rule of heredity. For each HLA locus, offspring inherits one allele from his mother and one allele from his father. HLA genes are co-dominant in nature, so that both alleles at a given HLA locus are expressed at the same time, so that two complete sets of HLA antigens can be detected on the surface of the cells. So it is the diagram of the Mendelian concept. Here it is the mother's gene having A allele and B allele. It is father's gene having C and D allele. These are offsprings which receives one allele from his mother and another allele from his father. From this diagram, we can understand that only 25% chance that two siblings will share both haplotypes. Example AC and AC. So these are called as identical siblings or identical individuals. 50% chance that two siblings will share only one haplotypes. Example AC and AD. Here A is the same allele present in both the individuals. These individuals are called as semi-identical individuals or semi-identical siblings. 25% chance that two siblings will share no haplotypes. Example AC and BD. So all alleles are different. So these individuals are called as non-identical individuals or non-identical siblings. Now it is easy to understand that the rejection of transplanted graft tissue between genetically non-identical individuals is brought about by the MHC antigens. These antigens are nothing but the products of the major histocompatibility genes. These MHC molecules or antigens are also called as transplantation antigens as they play a major role in transplantation. The MHC molecules are classified into four classes, namely class 1 MHC molecules, class 2 MHC molecules, class 3 MHC molecules, and class 4 MHC molecules. Class 1 and class 2 MHC molecules belong to the immunoglobulin superfamily. This figure shows the gene arrangement of HLA region in the short arm of the 6th chromosome in the human. This HLA region includes genes which encode class 1 MHC molecules, class 2 MHC molecules, and class 3 MHC molecules. Besides coding genes, few non-coding genes are also present in these regions. For example, E, G, F. And these are non-coding genes. These non-coding genes are also called as pseudogenes. This figure clearly shows the arrangement of genes in HLA region of human and in H2 region of the mouse. Here in HLA region, the genes A, B, and C. These genes encode the class 1 MHC molecules. Like that, in class 2 MHC locus, the genes DP, DQ, and DR encode Class 2 MHC molecules. In class 3 MHC locus, the genes code for certain factors of complement and cytokinins. Like that in mouse H2, it is present in the short arm of the chromosome 17. Here the genes K, D and L. It code for class 1 MHC molecule. And the genes IA and IE code for class 2 MHC molecules. And the genes present in the class 3 MHC locus code for certain factors of complement proteins and cytokinins. Now we have very clear idea about the arrangement of genes in HLA region. The product of the class 1 MHC genes or glycoproteins, they found in all nucleated cells except RBCs and nerve cells. They present the processed endogenous antigens to cytotoxic T cells. The product of class 2 MHC genes or glycoproteins, they found only on antigen presenting cells like dendritic cells, macrophages, B cells and other such antigen presenting cells. They present exogenous antigen to T helper cells. The products of class 3 MHC genes include secreted proteins that have immune functions. Example, complement proteins, inflammatory molecules like cytokines and heat shock proteins. This is the figure which shows the presence of the class 1 MHC molecule and the class 2 MHC molecule. The class 2 MHC molecules present only in antigen presenting cells. Class 2 MHC molecules, they present in all nucleated cells except RBCs. The fourth class MHC molecule usually found on T cells of the leukemia as well as on immature thymocytes. Before entering into the topic of structure and function of MHC, one must know what is antigen processing and what is antigen presentation. Proteins present inside the cells are periodically broken down into short peptide fragments by appropriate enzyme mechanism. This process is called as antigen processing. These peptide fragments are then displayed as peptide antigens by MHC molecules on the surface of the cells. This process is called as antigen presentation. MHC molecules display both self-peptides derived from their own proteins and foreign peptides derived from invading pathogens, if any. The immune system constantly watches the surface of the cells for peptides presented by MHC and identifies the self-antigens which belong to our own system and the foreign antigens that are dangerous to our system. After the identified foreign antigens are either neutralized by stimulating humoral immunity, or in the case of viral infection, the whole cell will be destructed by cell-mediated immunity. The immune system also monitors the amount of MHC presented antigens, which helps to target and destroy cancer cells. Because cancer cells display increased amounts of self-antigens as they produce more proteins than normal cells. Among the four MHC classes, class 1 and class 2 MHC molecules are worked in antigen presentation. MHC molecules always recognize only T lymphocytes. Class 1 MHC molecules are recognized by CD8 receptors of cytotoxic T cells. Class 2 MHC molecules recognize CD4 receptors of helper T cells. Structure of Class 1 MHC molecule. Class 1 MHC molecules are heterodimers, consists of two polypeptide chains, namely alpha chain and beta 2 microglobulin. Alpha chain is encoded by the BCA region of the HLA and beta 2 is encoded elsewhere in the chromosome. The MHC encoded polypeptide, that is alpha chain, is about 350 amino acids long with a total molecular weight of 45 kilodaltons. This polypeptide folds into three separate globular domains called alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3, and with transmembrane glycoprotein and cytoplasmic tail. Beta 2 microglobulin. Beta 2 microglobulin is a 12 kilodalton polypeptide that is non-covalently associated with alpha 3 domain. There are four regions in the MHC1 structure. The first region is called as peptide binding region. It is the groove-like structure formed of alpha 1 and alpha 2 domains. To this cleft only the processed antigen peptide fragment will bind. The next region is the immunoglobulin-like region. It refers alpha 3 domain. It is the site to which CD8 receptors on TC cells binds. The third region is transmembrane region. It is the stretch of hydrophobic amino acids spanning membrane. The fourth region is cytoplasmic region. It is the site for phosphorylation and binding to cytoskeletal elements. These two structures, the transmembrane segment and the cytoplasmic tail, anchors the MHC molecule into the cytoplasm. Function of Class 1 MHC or endogenous pathway. Class 1 MHC molecules present endogenous antigens on the surface of all nucleated cells. They present peptides derived from cytosolic proteins. So, the pathway of Class 1 MHC presentation of antigens is often called as cytosolic or endogenous pathway. It can also present peptides generated from exogenous proteins through cross presentation that we will see in later slides. The presentation of endogenous antigens by MHC1 molecules involves many steps. Before entering into these steps, we must know what are called endogenous antigens. When a virus infects a cell, it starts producing its own protein by using cell's protein machinery. So, the virus infected cells not only producing their own protein but also proteins for viruses. These viral proteins are called as endogenous antigens as they are produced inside the cells. They are called as intracellular antigens. In the first step of the endogenous antigen presentation, the intracellular antigens of the cytosol is attached to a regulatory protein called ubiquitin. This antigen labeled with ubiquitin is directed for destruction. The ubiquitin tagging is catalyzed by the enzyme ubiquitin ligase. Ubiquitin tagged antigen is directed to large cylindrical complex protein called proteasome. It is a hollow cylinder made up of 4 rings of protein subunits. The proteasome breaks the peptide bonds of antigens and yields peptide fragments of 7 to 8 amino acid length. The peptide fragments are transported from the cytosol into the endoplasmic reticulum. This is the endoplasmic reticulum by a protein called TAP. TAP means transporter associated antigen processing protein. This transporter protein is located in the membrane of the endoplasmic reticulum. Inside the endoplasmic reticulum, the peptide fragment binds with alpha strand of the MHC1 molecule. The peptide fragment stimulates the binding of the alpha fragment, alpha chain and beta chain of class 1 MHC molecule and stabilizes it. The class 1 MHC molecule peptide complex is then moved from the endoplasmic reticulum to Golgi complex. Because the Golgi complex can only form the exocytic vesicle. Exocytic vesicle can move to the surface of the cell. So now the exocytic vesicle deposits the class 1 MHC peptide complex on the surface of the cell. When a cell expresses foreign proteins such as viral proteins after infection, a fraction of the class 1 MHC will display these peptides on the cell surface. The TC cells, that means cytotoxic C cells, recognizes and kills the presenting cells by secreting cytokines. It is the clear picture of endogenous pathway, but in this figure the ubiquitination is not mentioned here. This is the protein antigen. The protein antigen is entering into the proteasome for its breakdown into small fragments of 7 to 8 amino acids length. After the formation of small strands, these strands from the cytosol moves into the endoplasmic reticulum through TAP, that means transporter associated antigen processing protein. After entering into the endoplasmic reticulum, the small peptide, endogenous antigen peptide, binds with alpha chain of the MHC1 molecule, and these two will bind with beta 2 strands of the MHC1 molecule. After this their 3 association, the MHC1 molecule is stabilized with the peptide strand. Then they move from the endoplasmic reticulum to Golgi complex. The Golgi complex can form secretory vesicles. So these secretory vesicles deposits the class 1 MHC molecules on the surface of the cell along with the foreign peptide. If the peptide is not foreign but is self-antigen, the cytotoxic T cells, they won't it recognize as foreign, they won't react against it. But if the peptide is endogenous antigen or viral antigenic peptide, it will be recognized as foreign by the cytotoxic T cells through CD8 marker or CD8 receptor. After recognizing this peptide antigen as foreign, they activate the cell-mediated immunity and release granzyme, enzymes like granzyme B perforins, which results in the apoptosis of these virus-infected cells. Structure of class 2 MHC molecule. Class 2 MHC molecules are found only on a few specialized cell types, including macrophages, dendritic cells, and B cells, of all which are professional antigen presenting cells. MHC2 binds with exogenous antigens. MHC2 binds with or recognized by CD4 adhesion molecule of the T helper cells. The class II MHC molecule consists of two polypeptide chains, namely alpha chain and beta chain. The alpha chain is of 33 kilodaltons and the beta chain is of 28 kilodaltons chain. Both chains are attached non-covalently. Each chain consists of two units or two domains. The two units of alpha chains are called alpha 1, alpha 2. Alpha 1 and alpha 2. And the two domains of the beta chain is beta 1 and beta 2. Beta 2 and alpha 2 are transmembrane domains, they anchoring MHC molecules to the plasma membrane. The alpha 1 and alpha 1 and beta 1 domains form a peptide binding groove. To this groove only the exogenous antigenic peptide will bind. Class II MHC pathway or exogenous pathway. Class II MHC molecules display exogenous antigens such as bacteria, virus, etc. The class II MHC pathway involves many steps. The antigen is taken into the cell by phagocytosis or endocytosis. Then the engulfed antigen is enclosed into a vesicle called endosome. It has an acidic pH of 6 to 6.5. Finally, this endosome moved to the lysosome having very low acidic pH of 4.5 to 5. The lysosome contains more than 40 acid-dependent hydrolases such as proteases, nucleases, lipases, phosphatases, etc. These enzymes break the antigen into peptide fragments of 15 to 18 amino acids. This is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum contains class II MHC molecule. It contains three chains. They are alpha chain, beta chain and invariable chain. The trimolecular class II MHC molecule is then assembled in the endoplasmic reticulum and transported to Golgi apparatus. In Golgi apparatus, they form the exocytic vesicles. These exocytic vesicles then binds with endosome which contains the peptides of exogenous antigens. In this endosome, the digestion of the invariant chain leaves the clip, which is a small fragment remaining in the binding groove of the class II MHC molecule. HLA-DM, it is shown in the brown color. It is like that of the MHC2 molecule. It resembles. It is called as HLA-DM. It is non-classical MHC class II molecule and are expressed within the endosomal compartments. This DM molecule mediates the exchange of antigenic peptides for clip. Now the peptide fragment is loaded on the cleft of class II MHC molecule to form class II MHC antigen complex. The lysosome vesicle moves to the surface of the plasma membrane and the class II MHC antigen complex is displayed on the surface of the antigen presenting cells. Then this antigen is recognized by the CD4 receptor of the T helper cells to elucidate the immune response. This slide shows the assembly of class II MHC molecule in the endoplasmic reticulum. Functions of invariant chain. The invariant chains prevent the premature binding of the exogenous peptides to class II molecules. It maintains the proper folding of the class II alpha and beta chains. It mediates the exit of class II molecules from rough endoplasmic reticulum. Routing of class II molecules to the endocytic processing pathway from the trans Golgi is mainly because of the presence of the invariant chain. This animation picture clearly explains the MHC class II pathway or exogenous pathway and the role of invariant chain in this pathway. This animation is taken from YouTube. The loading of processed exogenous antigens on the class I MHC antigen by antigen presenting cells is called cross presentation. In the normal immune response, class I MHC molecule is loaded with endogenous antigens. It stimulates T cytotoxic cells. Class II MHC molecule is loaded with exogenous antigens by antigen presenting cells. It stimulates T helper cells. Cross presentation results in the stimulation of T cytotoxic cells by exogenous antigens. The exogenous antigen is ingested in the cell by phagocytosis. So here the exogenous antigens, they are ingested by the antigen presenting cells via phagocytosis. The pathogen is enclosed inside the vesicle called endosome. The endosome fuses with the lysosome and the pathogen undergoes degradation here. The antigen is released into the cytosol instead of binding with MHC2 molecules by some unknown mechanism. In the cytosol, the proteasome degrades the antigen into small peptide fragments consist of 7 to 8 amino acids long. The peptide fragments are transported into the rough endoplasmic reticulum via transporter associated protein. Transporter associated antigen processing protein. The rough endoplasmic reticulum contains class 1 MHC molecule. The peptide fragment is loaded on class 1 MHC molecule to form peptide class 1 MHC complex. It is displayed on the surface of the cell. The peptide class 1 MHC complex is now recognized by the cytotoxicity cells. The cross presentation is carried out primarily by dendritic cells. However, other antigen presenting cells such as macrophages, B cells and liver sinusoidal endothelial cells also do cross presentation. The cross presentation was discovered by Michael J. Bevan in 1976. Role of cross presentation. Cross presentation is necessary for immunity against tumors. It is necessary for immunity against viruses that do not infect antigen presenting cells. Example, herpes virus and influenza virus. It is required for induction of the cell-mediated immunity by vaccination. Example, tumor vaccines. It avoids viral immune evasion strategies such as suppression of the antigen processing. It provides immune defense against bacteria. Example, Mycobacterium tuberculosis and E. coli. MHC restriction means that different T cells are restricted to either class 1 or class 2 MHC molecules. Cytotoxic T cells are restricted to class 1 MHC antigens present on all nucleated cells, thus play a role in protecting against virus-infected cells or cancerous cells. Helper T cells are restricted to class 2 MHC antigens present on antigen presenting cells, thus play a role in increasing the humoral immune response. In this slide, some of the differences between MHC class 1 and MHC class 2 are tabulated. MHC class 1 can bind with peptides having 8 to 10 amino acids, but MHC2 class 2 molecules can bind with peptides containing 13 to 18 amino acids. The peptide binding cleft is made up of alpha 1 and alpha 2 domain in MHC class 1, and a peptide binding cleft is made up of alpha 1 and beta 1 domain of the class 2 molecule. Class 1 molecule present antigens to CD8 receptor of T cytotoxic cells. Class 2 MHC molecules present antigen to CD4 receptor of T helper cells. Class 1 molecules often found on surface of all nucleated cells. Class 2 molecules found on the surface of antigen presenting cells only. Class 1 molecules are composed of one peptide encoded in HLA region and beta-2 microglobulin. It is encoded in somewhere else. MHC2 molecules composed of two peptides encoded by HLA locus. MHC1 molecule bind with endogenous antigens. MHC2 molecules bind with exogenous antigens. MHC1 molecule has no invariant chain. MHC2 molecules has invariant chain. MHC molecules, after binding to CD8 T cytotoxic cells, cytokines are produced that lead to the lysis of the entire cell. After binding to CD4 T cells, MHC2 molecules triggers B cell response, which results in antibody formation. Functions of MHC. MHC helps to induce the differentiation and maturation of T cells to form functional T cell repertoire in the thymus. They present antigens to initiate immune response with a phenomena known as MHC restriction. Endogenous antigens are presented to CD8 receptors of T cytotoxic cells by MHC class 1 molecule. Exogenous antigens are presented to CD4 receptors of T helper cells by MHC class 2 molecules. They participate in both humoral and cell-mediated immunity. They help to discriminate self and non-self antigens. They mediate autoimmune diseases. They bring about graft rejection. They provide defense against infectious and diseases. Paternity testing is made by HLA typing. They are responsible for individual smell of the people. They are important determining the compatibility, that means the suitability or matching of tissues in successful grafting between donor and recipient. Anthropology test. They are useful in the anthropology test to study the races and nations of human. Here are some questions are given. You can check your understanding by answering these questions. Thank you.